Ruh-roh, I'm back at it again. I haven't done this in a while. I'm talking to myself. But I should entertain myself. Am I entertaining myself? Maybe. Let's look at my chum roll. Like, give maybe a few minutes for anyone who wants to come. I can't believe I lost all my save data. Whoops. Gonna start wrapping up your day. I hope I don't need everything else to get the true ending. Warnings for volume. God, what am I on? 12? Mild violence, alcoholism mention, and bullying. I thought Roxy was the last one. Or the next one, but I was wrong. That's right, adventure! Turn this bad boy down a little. All you wanted to do was make a new friend, and now you're running like hell from a giant white creature with two heads, each sporting a single garish eye. Kind of like a Cyclops, except with two of the one-eyed faces, so you guess it's a duo Cyclops? Whatever it is, it's angry as hell and chasing you through a tangled jungle. You leap over a stand of ferns and duck under one of those big woody vine jungles always have. You duck under one of those big woody vines jungles always have. After befriending Jane, you asked her for the names of some of her friends. Not too many details, you made that mistake with Solix. Just a little tantalizing friendship. Amuse... Boosh? How do you pronounce... Okay. I've already reached the one... Boosh. Boosh. I'll just write definition. Amuse Boosh to get you started. Bush. Oh, Amuse Bush. An allowance of food and drink for retinue in a royal or noble household, a slit in the edge of a medieval shield for a sword blade, or a rounded opening for the shaft of a lance. Okay, okay, I guess that makes sense. Some of these bush food. Specifically, you were interested in that friend that needed your help daily. Now that's out. Wow. Where's my voice? Where's my face? Where's my head? Where's my brain? There's the word. Now that sounded like some fertile ground for a relationship. You kind of regret bringing it up though, because Jane got very flustered telling you about Jake. It's clear that her friendship with this guy is a topic of some emotional turmoil. Well, who better to help sort it out than you, everyone's friend? But instead of friendship, you've been greeted by a number of ferocious white monsters. Your garbled brain offers up that you probably pissed off this kid's Lucis. Except, this is Earth. Between different planets, different universes, and the mess of timelines in your memory, you're having a hard time figuring out. You trip over a big tree root and land smack on your face in the dirt. You choke on decaying plant matter crawling at your throat and roll over onto your back, just in time to see the duo Cyclops about to bring down one huge foot right on your vulnerable body. Are you allowed to start over if you haven't even made a branching choice yet? You cover your eyes. And then the route ends. Nothing happens. After a moment of Olympic-level breath-catching, you venture a peek. The duo Cyclops is in pieces on the ground. 2 pieces! You hope thematic resonance offered it some comfort during such a brutal end. You scramble to your feet. Your future new friend, Jake, must have intervened to save you. You look around for him, but there's another swoosh noise and a glint of metal, and something inhuman appears in front of the duo Cyclops' body. It's a robot! Kind of a cartoony one, with shiny metal joints and big red anime sunglasses. It even has a perfectly gelled metal hairstyle. Honestly, it looks pretty goofy, but it's also holding a katana and staring right at you. You think you saw something similar broken all over the floor of Equius' room. Must be a battle robot, and you don't have the strength of your punchiest friend. Obviously, I have to challenge the robot. With a yell, you charge forward, waving your arms intimidatingly. Yeah, it's a robot. It's not scared. The robot implacably... implacably... Okay, now I'm Now I don't know if I'm saying that right. I know what it means, I just...
Implacable, implacable.
Implacable, implacable.
Implacable.
Oh, that's how I was saying it right. Implacably waits for your approach, then strikes out in one swift motion, too fast to see. You crumple to the ground, your world exploding in pain. You huddle into a ball, waiting for the robot to finish you off. But it's not interested. It zooms away, leaving you to your agonies. In the bursts of lucidity available to you, you discern that it has kicked you in the chest, breaking several of your ribs. No problem, that's totally a survivable injury. You'll be fine, and ready to get your friendship Katamari rolling again in no time. You're just gonna lie here for a bit first, just to gather your strength. Just gonna lie here, too injured to run, surrounded by ferocious beasts and leaking delicious, aromatic blood. Just for a minute or two. Monster bait. Where's the blood that I was promised? Oh, I like that Dirkbot was just in there watching anyways. Yeah, let's not challenge the robot. You default to your old standby, cowering. You shrink back, hands raised to the universal symbol for whoa now! Shit. No horse pun intended. For some reason, the thought of Equius in the presence of this robot are making your brain go right to horses. Suddenly, a shot rings out behind you. Sounds so stupid that you almost don't believe it, but it's true. Who's shooting a gun at a robot? The robot makes a little startup noise and raises its katana into a ready stance. It's like a cat startup noise, but scarier. A blur of green and khaki charges out of the jungle and tackles the robot full in the stomach. It doesn't fall to the ground. Instead, it puts the kid, a human you can now see, so probably this Jake guy, into a headlock. He struggles, lashing at it with his elbows and kicking at its ankles. The robot proceeds to beat the kid up. There's no reason to describe it in detail. It's unpleasant to watch and makes you feel really bad. Didn't even know there could be a polar opposite of Equius, but this kid is it. The robot is super effective against him. You have to stop it, but there's too much action for you to get close. Even if you could reach Jake, there's no way you could zap him out of here without bringing the BattleBot with you. Except, things have been weird lately. Accepted rules of your power no longer seem so inviolable. Maybe you can just do it? You close your eyes and think really hard about bringing Jake with you. I have to take a moment just to take this in. Oh, Jake. When you open your eyes, a young man stands in his bedroom. Wait, is it Jake's birthday today? No. What? You shake your head in consternation. Anyway, you manage to bring Jake, and only Jake, into the house. He stands there clutching his side and panting, recovering from the robo beatdown. There we go. The guy's bedroom is so covered in movie posters, it's hard to even see the shape of the walls. The floor is littered with weaponry. A lot of the kids you've met live like this, basically lounging around in piles of detritus pertaining to their character-defining interests. Anyway, it's clear to anyone who sees this room that he absolutely fucking loves movies and guns. You don't need to waste any time on exposition there. Oh god, what the fuck voice do I want to use for him now? Jeez, I'm crazy! You're right over there! I think my boyfriend has his headphones on, so he can't make fun of me for shitty English accents. What was my John voice? It was kind of nerdy and nasally. Jeez, I'm crazy! Jeez, I'm crazy! You alright over there, my chromatically challenged chappy? You're fine. Jake is the one who seems hurt. That robot really did a number on him. Did he? I can't tell. It's cute. It's cute art, though. I'll say. Confounded thing practically never does. Fuck. I'll say. Confounded thing practically never doesn't do a number on me. It does so many numbers, it's one short of a standing ovation down on Broadway Avenue. I'm just glad I could be there to help. You know, life is always just a smidgen easier with a bro's helping hand, firmly placed on your behind. Sure, whatever you say. Well, the friend behind you is what I mean to say. Oh, sure. Jake doesn't really seem fazed by any of this. Not the alien monsters on his island, not your presence, and not his ungainly defeat at the hands of an anime robot. Not even by you teleporting him around. Well, sure, my good buddy Jane told you... Fuck. Well, sure. My good buddy Jane told me you might drop by. I'm, like, not acing this, but I'm too proud to, like, stop. I'm just looking at the background right now. It's a really good background design. I love it. I love, like... I have a hard time drawing posters. They usually just end up, like, looking like little squares just taped onto a wall. But, like, I love how they actually, like, live in this space. If that makes sense. In this. That is one really long mummy poster. And honestly, I've been jumping at the proverbial bit to meet you, old fella me lad. I'm sure Janie showed you a good time, as she is a stand-up host and a top-notch friendo. An absolute wonder wench, and no doubt about it. But gosh, I've just been so gung-ho to show a brand new personage around the old digs. Get it? I live in a ruined temple, so it's literally digs. Nudges you with a meaningful elbow and gives you a haughty raising of the brows. Did he just say that out loud? He did. Well, here you are, ready to be shown around the ruined temple. Where to first? Oh, haha, let's not actually go there. You know, I'm no stranger to danger, but there's nothing like a man's familiar four walls to give him a feeling of peace and quietude. We'd better hide out for a bit. Just a tactical withdrawal whilst my robo-buddy and the usual monster menagerie are out and about. Right, the monsters. You can't help but notice that this is the same island where Jade lived, but instead of one big white creature custodian like Beck, Jake has lots. Trying to be culturally sensitive, you tell him it must be nice to have such a big family. Jake looks perplexed. I reckon it must be nice. I can't say I've ever had one, though. If family is what you're looking for, then you couldn't have picked a worse place to mount your search. There's about as much familial spirit in my locale as cows in a cornfield. I had to use my brain for a second, which was painful. I don't recommend it. And remember that cows don't actually, like, stand around in cornfields. Which is to say, there's simply none to be seen. Oh shit, you misinterpreted things, so Jake really just lives here alone? That must be hard. I'll say, as another of my friends could tell you, there's nothing worse than being a teen stranded alone in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. My grandma used to live here with me, but she died long ago. You think of your friend John, or rather his corpse, standing ceremonially in Jane's living room. Same house, similar kids, same island, mysteriously dead grandma. It's not hard to put two and two together and come up with your dead friend Jade. It's a gut punch, even though the inexorable passage of time means that of course you could zap to the future and visit time periods where all your friends are dead if you wanted. I guess that's kind of what you did to your old friends by skipping forth so many years in Alternia. Haha, wow, you're kind of starting to hyperventilate about this. You focus hard on Jake, trying to pull yourself together. Luckily, he doesn't seem to have noticed anything is wrong with you. Jake seems like the kind of person who doesn't have room in his head to talk and notice other people at the same time. But I try not to complain. After all, things could be worse. I have all the kinds a boy could ever want to cookalize. I get to romp in the pumpkin patch to my heart's delight. Plus, this island is the perfect setting for one of the coolest things in the world. That's right, adventure! The thrill of discovery, the frenzy of battle. It's the most fulfilling diversion of them all. Why, no boy of a sound disposition could feel sad about his perpetual isolation and the deadness attribute of his family members when the whole dark and teeming jungle is available for his dauntless exploration. Is that really what he thinks? You can't help but remember about 30 seconds ago when Jake said he didn't want to go out to the ruins. You're no problem, Sleuth, but Jake's room looks pretty lived in. Not to mention the quantity of movie consumption that justifies decor. You're about to respond when there's a horrendous clatter from down below. Jake freezes, a small animal caught in the headlights. You suspect the headlights are of the red anime glasses variety. Oh, fuck buttons. the metal maverick makes his return. Listen, you look like a rum customer with Primo Getaway 6. Fleeing is probably our best option here. You don't get it. The last guy you knew who made a habit of consorting with battle bots always bested them handily. Why would Jake make something he can't beat? Whoa, jumpin'... I don't even know how the fuck to pronounce that. Whoa, jumpin' Jehoshaphat. Okay, I know what that word is now. Whoa! Jumpin' Jehoshaphat! I'm touched by your high opinion of my robotics know-how. No, I didn't make the robot. My best buddy did. He's a genuine whiz with tech of all kinds and a real thoughtful guy, even though sometimes I wish he would just apply some of that big brain box to helping me out just a touch more. He couldn't be here himself because of the physical limitations of time and space, so he sent the robot to train me. It's really nice if you think about it. I mean, at first, I thought it was somewhat overbearing and unnecessary, but after Dirk explained it to me, I got that it was his way of being nice. This best friend sounds... Not everyone is as lucky as me to have 3 stalwart compadres to brighten their day when they live alone on a murder island. When you think about it, I'm just the luckiest gent who ever was stranded in the Pacific with a passage of ferocious monsters and a killer robot. You guess someone could say that, if that someone was Jake. Another harsh sound from below reminds you of the urgency of the situation. You could easily teleport the two of you out of here, but, well... The creepy biotech shooting noise of drones still echoes in your memories. You've had some bad experiences trying to escape a killer robot with its eyes set on a friend. Escape via teleportation seems like a temporary solution at best. Sooner or later, Jake's probably going to have to face the robot. Is there some way the 2 of you acting together can take it down? Ah, you don't understand! Why did I turn Scottish? Ah! You don't understand! Oh well, it's Scottish now. It learns from your actions. Anytime I've even started to get the jump on that dad-burned crow-ass sucker, it just turned around and given itself a thorough school feeding on the topic of kicking my sweet Bippy. If we fight it together, it'll just learn how to fight 2 people, and then when you leave me all by my lonesome, I'll be up shit creek with nary a paddle to be found. It's like that robot in The Incredibles. Except instead of being an absolute fantastic work of cinematic art, it's my real life. Jeez, I'm crazy. Jake's friend is among the worst gift givers you've ever seen. There's just one thing we can do if a hasty retreat isn't what tickles your biscuit. If we could find a way to turn on novice mode, and it'll be easier to deal with. I usually don't do it, but I'd hate to subject a guest to the violent vicissitudes of a robotic rascal. I just can't remember how it's done. Oh, okay. So at least this friend included an easy mode. You were starting to think this guy was one of those gamers who thought easy modes cheapened the experience. But if he designed the thing with a novice mode, maybe he can remind Jake how to trigger it. Well, I have to admit, you've really put your achromatic digit right on the crux of the matter there, amigo. Strider's a bang-up bro, and I won't utter a word against him, but he doesn't really like to offer help. I imagine he'll think it's my fault for forgetting in the first place, and he probably won't want to give me the answer, because then I won't learn the lesson that I shouldn't be so forgetful. Wow, okay, you're starting to form some tentative opinions about the Strider guy. That said, Badyo, I think you've stumbled onto quite the slick solution to our woes. There's no shame in a brave adventurer asking for help when he's well and truly fucked. Maybe we can find someone willing to offer us their casa as a temporary abode? Oh sure, you could do that. Maybe Jake can message Jane? Although, now that you think about it, given how Jane talked about Jake when you were there, it seems cruel to spring something like this on her with so little lead time to prepare herself. You don't want to fluster her too badly. You quickly backpedal, telling Jake that Jane seemed too busy when you were there last. Is there anyone else? Well, Roxy's probably zozzled by now. Zozzled? You know, pie-eyed on the toot, tying one on, deep in the gigawater, 3 sheets to the cold, Norrister. Norris, I don't know what that is. Oh. Wait, she's drunk? Bingo was his name-o. So, this is the common thing? She's Jake's age? You don't want to make any assumptions, but that sounds well, concerning. And also familiar. You remember what feels like a long time ago now, helping a girl symbolically trash her mother's liquor collection. Of course, alcoholism isn't that rare, but still, you're starting to feel like there's something strange about all these convergent circumstances. Anyways, Jake sure his friend is okay?
Oh, it's nothing like that. Roxy's just a fun and wacky gal, haha. Sure, she dabbles in the devil's drink, but she always seems to be having such a good time. I wouldn't want to make any unfair assumptions about it.
Somehow this fails to make you feel better.
I guess asking Strato for help is our only option. I just know he's going to be a complete pain in the keister about it. I'll have to button him up like a morning muffin. Are you any good at manners or persuasion?
Yikes. You want to understand where this kid is coming from, but you're reaching your limits here. Is that really all the friendship Jake has? If so, that is bleak. There's clearly some kind of feelings-based train wreck on the horizon for him and Jane. His friend Roxy is obviously having a crisis that Jake pretends not to see. No, you fucking don't. I see you. I see you and your little chopstick paws, and you're not gonna fucking walk on my reset button. And his friendship with Strider has more red flags than the People's Republic of China. Is this what Jake is willing to put up with just for companionship? He just pretends he doesn't see the huge issues in his friendships to keep the peace? Is this what it looks like when someone is so indiscriminately hungry for affection that they're willing to go along with anything to get it? You've had about enough. You tell Jake you can't stand this anymore. This life he has, it's not good. Not even close! He lost his family and he's scared to leave his house. His only company in real life is a robot that's programmed to hurt him, and he thinks it was a gift! He seems unwilling to face the glaring flaws in his closest relationships. And all of this might be hard and sad, but it can't be helping Jake to be so deep in denial about it. He can't just cover this all up with cavalier optimism. There's no way that's the best way for him to live. You understand it must be scary when there seem to be structural flaws in every one of Jake's support pillars, but addressing them is the only way anything can get better. Because this hiding out in his room all alone just pretending he has the support he needs is not sustainable. You don't say this part, but if he keeps going along with what other people want him to be, you're scared for what's going to happen to him as he grows up. That can't lead anywhere good. After your rant, Jake stares at you, aghast. You start to feel bad. Yes, he probably needed to hear those things, but you could have guided him more gently. You're usually an expert at encouraging people slowly toward emotional growth, but this kid really got under your skin. But then Jake's face crumples.
You're absolutely right.
Oh.
I am lying to myself. I manicure the image of myself as some brave adventurer, but I don't go out to the ruins unless I have to. And I suppose on some level I have suspected that things with Jane and Roxy and Dirk weren't exactly Jake.
Wait, what?
Oh, it's like a word that means good. It's just plain English. Jake English. Anyway. Right?
I pause my video and I hear that shit. I would beat the shit out of him. Goddamn.
Come on, he's like 13 or whatever.
Stupid little motherfucker. Talks like a grandma.
He does.
Jake English, that is. Haha. I guess I didn't realize how serious it was, or how much I was really ignoring. Gee, fucking Willikers, it's not easy to hear that. All this came across loud and clear to a complete stranger. That really makes me feel low. But I guess for a truly brave gentleman, the only thing to do is try to get to better from here on out. It's scary, but I do want to be the kind of person who is honest and forthright. A real hero. If I'm not doing that, then I need to figure out how to do that. Holy smokes, you've really opened my eyes, mixed mystery friend. You've really got a knack for spotting problems. Do you think you could stick around and help me do better?
It's like asking the sun if it minds shining. Helping people confront their buried issues and come out of it change for the better? Well, that's the very thing you've desperately latched onto to give your life some kind of purpose. But something about this feels off. Was your rant really all it took to turn things around for Jake? Did you really just fix him? Doesn't seem right. Definitely not good pacing anyway. Jake is looking at you with big green puppy eyes. You have to make a choice. Obviously there's only one way this will go well, right? Of course you're gonna help! Jake asked, didn't he? You think through your old bag of friendship tricks. Encouraging him to talk to people about his feelings, it'd probably be good, but it's a little complex. He has 3 different relationships with these kids, all with their own set of problems. And you're not convinced that Jake is really up for confrontation yet. Your best bet is probably forging unlikely connections through your powers of teleportation and friend matchmaking. You think proudly of the time you introduced Dariah to Tisius. Someone who'd struggled with the questions Dariah was facing, but found a more constructive solution. That's what you need. Not someone similar to Jake, but a good foil. Someone who will be able to call Jake on his avoidance. You need the ultimate pool no-puncher, an expert in tough love. No, you... no. 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 No, that... no. That's not... no. 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 I don't think so. You need Vriska Circuit. You asked Jake if you might take the initiative to introduce him to another one of your friends. Someone who has the kind of take-no-bullshit approach that he needs to cultivate. Someone who can really help. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely! Lead on, buckaroo! You clap your hand matily on his shoulder and zap over to Vriska. You expect her to be in her hive, but when your field of vision clears, you're at the beach again. You've appeared a diplomatic distance away, not right up in her face. Vriska is walking down the beach, hands in her pockets, occasionally aiming a disaffected kick at a piece of trash. You call out to her and wave her over. Her face splits into a grin at the sight of you. It gives you a warm glow, like you've befriended someone's mean cat who never gets along with visitors. Maybe more like someone's mean mountain lion. Hey there! No. Hey there!
Hey there!
Yeah, okay, I'm just going to use that. Hi, Vriska! What is she doing on this beach?
I came here looking for my stupid fish friends. Terezi and I need an explosive device for a thing, and as much as I hate to admit it, Empora isn't bad at making them. Please now, have you here? I can't even find him the one time I ever want to see him ever. Figures, my so-called friends leave me to do all the work. Again.
It's this kind of self-starter energy that Jake could really learn from. Speaking of, you start to introduce your friends to each other, but when you turn to Jake, he's frozen. He's frozen. His face caught no expression of shock and wonder. Maybe you should have mentioned your friend was an alien? You keep forgetting to mention things like that. As you look at him, Jake rallies, snapping to such a ramrod posture you half expect him to salute. He opens his mouth to speak, then shuts it. You can talk to her, you prompt. It's okay.
Yes!
Righto.
Holy smokes, I'm ruffled as a baby's bonnet to meet you, Miss Vriska. I'm poised and trembling on the lip of your pit of knowledge, just ready to fall into the expectant abyss. I'm happy to learn whatever you can teach me. Although, I must say, when my pal here intimated they had a friend who could help, I didn't expect you to be such of such a blue and spidery persuasion. Of course. Why would anyone be anything else when they could be blue and spidery? You have a solid point there, my extraterrestrial associate. I hope you'll pardon my candor, but a real gentleman doesn't hide from the truth. You may be the coolest girl I've ever seen in my entire life. Clears his throat nervously, hoping he didn't overstep. Ooh. Well, I can't say I'm surprised to hear it.
How's my Roxy voice?
Feel free to keep listing things that are awesome about me.
Despite his professed admiration for Vriska, however, Jake isn't listening.
Hang on, wait. Technically, the only other girl I've seen was my grandma, but you know what I mean. It's kind of disrespectful to refer to one's own grandmother as a girl, so I didn't mean her. Ah, gosh, I seem to be rambling. Well, I hope this is a radiant exemplar of the kind of being true to myself I hope to cultivate as a regular habit from here on out. I think it can be very brave to just keep being yourself even when things feel awkward, don't you think so? Oh, wow. There's so many things wrong with that, I don't even know where to start. Oh, doggone it, really? This is why I need your help, Miss Vriska. I didn't see anything wrong with any of that at all. Here I am going around thinking what I'm saying to everyone is tickety-boo, and it turns out it's all been a load of cattywampus fiddle-faddle. Oh man, this is the nicest present anyone's ever got me. She's addressing you now, ignoring Jake's question. A predatory shark smile spans her pointy face. You must have known things were getting bad with Tavros. In a different way than usual, I mean. He just kind of stopped responding in the same way he did before, and not even because of his fakey fraud confidence. He just says no good can come of talking to me. So, you brought me a new nerdy loser. This rolls.
Well, that wasn't exactly what you expected, although now that you think about it, why didn't you expect it? Pretty much anyone could have seen this coming.
Hey!
Except Jake, of course.
I may have my little quirks and quibbles, but that doesn't mean I'm a loser. If you want a lady, I dare say such slanderous language would earn you a one-way ticket to Fisticuffs Island. Which, now that I think about it, is more or less an appropriate moniker for my permanent residence. How do you like them, Granny Smith apples? This is hilarious. I've never met anyone who makes me feel so good about myself. I'm so lucky to be cool. Excuse me, but I haven't heard hide nor hair of an apology yet, Miss Rude Alien Girl.
At least Jake is standing up for himself? But you get the feeling that this enthusiastic bravado wouldn't hold up if the issue was an interpersonal one with his friends. Either way, Vriska is not backing down. She sizes Jake up, stepping forward to intimidate him.
Do you really want to fight? Because I get the feeling you're whatever your planet's equivalent of coal bait is. I may not know what that means, but I've never once backed down from a scrum, and I'm not about to start now, chum!
Whoa, whoa, no! You are not going to let two of your best friends, a category that includes all of your friends, throw down right in front of you. Especially not after Vriska compared Jake to Tavros. Doesn't she remember the consequences of fighting Tavros? Doesn't she want things to go differently here?
Wait. What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, no, you didn't mean any offense. You know Vriska has been through a lot, and her past mistakes should be viewed with that context, but you know Vriska didn't mean to hurt Tavros as much as he did. Right? Vriska is no longer having fun. She's turned to you now, her mouth set into a line, fist clenching at her side. You remember how magical it seemed to have earned her friendship, and how easily Vriska can lash out when she thinks her friends have turned on her.
You think you know what went down between me and Tavros? Tavros was almost as pathetic as this guy. I was trying to help him get stronger. But every time I did, he just folded like a loser. He barely even tried to fight back. He was too scared and wimpy. And everyone always gets mad at me for pushing him, but that's what our planet is going to do to him. If he doesn't get stronger, he'll die. Trying to protect him from danger now is just letting that happen later. I would even say I'm the only one who's ever really cared about him. At least I tried to help him shape up.
You almost forgot Jake is here, but at this, he makes an indignant noise, and you turn to see that his anger and distress has ratcheted up several notches.
Well, pardon me, Spider-Smurfat, but it doesn't sound like you were much of a friend at all.
Oh god, you nudge Jake, trying to let him know that Vriska can be a little scary and it might not be best to push her on this, but Jake isn't listening.
No matter how much you might think you're doing this fellow a favor, from what you've said, he was really scared and sad. And I'm sorry, but that doesn't make someone stronger, it just makes them scared. Even if you think it's good for him, or even if he said it was what he wanted. Like maybe when he was talking about having a fighting partner, what he really wanted was companionship due to being alone all the time. And to be totally candid, it's hard to believe you didn't know that. Which means it really is more about what you want than what's best for him, even though you keep saying it's what's best for him, which makes it really hard to argue. Anyway, if you ask me, you're a rotten friend, and I don't want you to be one of mine after all.
Before Vriska can respond and almost inevitably make things worse, you cut her off. Enough is enough. You tell her you're sorry for making assumptions. You know that she was doing the best she could with the raw deal she was given in this culture. You offer her a quick thank you for this hellish social interaction and ask for some time alone with your incipient friend here. Vriska still looks annoyed, but there's a moment where you're scared she won't let it go. But she does, stepping back and rearranging her facial expression to apathy. You guess pushing it would mean admitting she cares about your opinion of her.
Whatever. Talk to you later, nerds.
After she leaves, you put a comforting hand on Jake's shoulder. That got pretty raw, huh? It kind of seemed like in the end there, he wasn't talking about Vriska at all. Like, there was someone else he wanted to say all that stuff to?
Huh? No, this has nothing to do with me. It was about some weird alien situation.
You gently suggest that this might be one of those situations the two of you were talking about earlier, where Jake is suppressing the truth because it's inconvenient to acknowledge. Doesn't it bear some slight resemblance to a situation in his own friend group? Jake averts his gaze, clearly uncomfortable.
No way, all of my friends are best in show. And even if what you're implying was true, it's different when it's your friends. A man can't get by without his bros, so sometimes he has to make allowances. Certain, let's say, eccentricities are just what you have to put up with when best friends are involved.
No, they're not. You're allowed to hold your friends accountable. This is weapons-grade interpersonal truth you're spouting, but Jake doesn't look enlightened. Instead, he's growing red in the face with indignance.
What would you know about it anyway? Not to be rude, but it's a very personal situation between a fella and his buddies. I don't think I appreciate what you're implying.
You don't want to get frustrated, but Jake did ask for your help. The two of you came here because you were going to face up to the hard truths about Jake's life. Doesn't Jake want to do that?
Well, of course I do. I'm ready to take a hard look in the old rum, people, and don't you doubt it. It's just that, when it comes to my friends, I didn't think you were saying any of them were bad. I thought you were encouraging me to take things in a more forthright direction because, well... Tugs at collar nervously. Because of their feelings towards me? Gosh, it sounds stupid when I say it like that. I hope you know I'm not some kind of pompous braggadocio, making myself out to be some slick Casanova type. I'm probably just making it up. I'm the kind of guy who gets confused easily, especially with the number of concussions I've sustained over the years. A real beef-witted bozo, that's me. But more than once I've gotten an inkling that some of my friends might be giving me the old eagle eye, firing up the courting maneuvers, if you get my drift. So when you said things weren't right between me and my friends, that's sort of where I thought the personal change train was a-headin'. An impression only further bolstered when you proceeded to introduce me to your blue arachnid-themed friend. I figured you remembered my sapphire sirens from my room. You know, Nateri and all that. It was a sweet gesture, though, just so you're aware, she's a little too young for me to take that kind of interest. I appreciate the thought, though, just some constructive criticism for next time. Now you're tempted yourself to say aloud some kind of goofy RP action indicating your embarrassment. You don't, though, because it sounds stupid when Jake does that. Jeez. This is a mess. This kid has issues on issues, and when you think you've put your finger on one, it slides away to reveal 3 more. You're playing personal growth whack-a-mole over here, but you gamely draw yourself up and plunge onward, determined. Okay, you tell Jake. So, if that's what he thought you were going to talk about, let's talk about it. How does it make him feel, thinking all his friends are attracted to him? What does he plan to do about it? Oh, you know, I think all that malarkey will work itself out over time. I figure I'll just wait until someone brings it up, and then just go along with what they think we should do.
Really? That's a strategy? Seems remarkably lackadaisical. And it gives you that sinking feeling again about what's in store for future Jake. Does he actually return any of those feelings?
Sure I do. My friends are the cat's pajamas. I don't mind saying I really love them.
Right, of course, but is there any one of them he feels differently about? What would he say if, for example, Jane asked him out?
I'd say yes, of course. How could I say no to a top Sheba like Janie? She's smart as a whip with a mug to match.
Alright, and what about Roxy?
A fellow would have to be daft as a doorknob to turn down Roxy. She's a genius tech hacker spy, like in all my favorite movies.
And Strider?
Are you kidding? Strider's my best bro in the world, and a mighty strapping gent if we're getting into it. I can't think of any reason to say no to a proposition like that from my best bud.
The way Jake conceives of things is just far enough from your own viewpoint, you can't help feeling like you're passing by each other without really connecting. For example, he doesn't have to have a reason to say no for a friend asking him out. It comes down to his feelings. Does he really have strong feelings for any of these people? Like, stronger feelings than he has for Natiri?
Whoa now. Well, hey now, that's not really fair. Nateri is the perfect woman.
No, you insist. It is fair. If someone has feelings for him, he should not be with them unless he has stronger feelings for that real flesh and blood person than he does for a poster of Nateri. It's important.
Well, huh. If you put it that way, I don't know if I've ever had feelings like that. I don't even know if I'm capable of those kinds of feelings.
If that's the case, then he needs to be prepared to tell his friends that. It's not like he has to have these conversations now, but someday the feelings of his friends need to be addressed. And he needs to be ready to turn them down. He needs to make these decisions. He can't just wait for things to resolve on their own and deal with the consequences later.
Huh. Wow.
He doesn't sound nearly as excited about personal growth as he did before. He just sounds dejected.
I must say, you've given me a lot to think about.
That's a good thing, you remind him. He's learning important things.
Well, sorry, but a lot of people tell me it's important for me to learn various things. And for sure, sometimes they're right. I've never assumed the image of a chap who knows everything. But you've also been telling me I can stand up for myself sometimes, make my own decisions about what's right instead of letting other people tell me how to live. And I just don't think I agree with you on this.
He sneaks a guilty look at you from under his sad, bowed head.
What I mean is, I like making my pals happy. Even if I'm not always sure about if I want the things they want, I can't imagine the consequences could really be that bad. I think that, in matters of the heart, I'm fine with just going with the flow. No offense, but the way you're advocating I go about it seems hard and sad. I don't want to hurt people. I really think it's best if I just sit back and see how things work out. And if someone asks me to do something, I might as well try it. That's just the kind of adventure boy I am.
Oh, Jake, no. You want to respect Jake's choices, but you can't help the exasperation rising up in you. Sure, he can decide how he wants to conduct his friendships, but the approach he's talking about is really unhealthy. If he wants to do right by his friends, he has to be honest with them and himself. Otherwise, it's not fair to anyone.
I see what you're saying, but if you want my 100% bona fide opinion, I don't think I can do that. I guess we had different ideas about what we were getting into with this.
He can do it, though. All he has to do is try. Jake is shaking his head.
I'm sorry, I know you're really trying to help. I'm sure you're an excellent compadre, just like Spider-Girl said, but this isn't working for me.
Me or a meme? Got unfriend-zoned by Jake English.
Maybe you should just take me home now. I can figure out some way to deal with the robot.
He's still well below the average Jake level of energy. You can see that you really affected him, but you're far from confident that your intervention is going to make any difference in the long run. Despite his seeming earnestness, you guess Jake just wasn't as ready for change as he thought he was. Wait a fucking second. Is this a bad end? Horrible powerlessness threatens to overwhelm you. All at once, it makes you furious. This isn't fair. Jake gave you a choice between two options. You chose to help him face his problems. You know that was the right choice. You didn't do anything wrong. You were kind and patient. You talked to him sincerely and pushed him in the right direction. You deserve a good end. You deserve to save him. But you can tell Jake is emotionally closing up. You're willing to bet the conversation the two of you just had was among the most candid of his life, and he isn't ready for another. You want so badly to help him. You know exactly the changes he needs to make, but you can't make those changes for him. He needs to do it himself. And he's just not ready. Maybe he'll never be. You hate this. You hate Jake, and you hate yourself. Making people's lives better is the one thing that's given your piecemeal existence any meaning, and he's taking this away from you. His stupid inability to face his issues is ruining your life. You linger as long as you can, but eventually you have to do it. You gotta take the L. Bad end. You guess. Yeah, me too, bro. Alright. Let's not help him. You were about to say yes. Every part of you is straining to say yes and fulfill your life's purpose. Your real life's purpose. Not like before when you were being mind-controlled to pursue friendship on whatever shallow or unsatisfying level was possible. This desire to help, to make your mark in whatever small positive way you can wrangle, is something you figured out for yourself. It matters. But When you're about to open your mouth, you stall. A deep, existential hopelessness washes over you, a kind that you thought you were past by now. You know what? Fuck it. Yes, you care, but honestly, you are exhausted. It's so much work coaxing teens through personal revelations with no reward except the temporary abatement of your deep soul-level feeling of narrative irrelevance. You need a break. Why not give yourself a freebie? You tell Jake that you don't think he needs your help. It's enough for right now that he's realized there's a problem. There's no need to swallow down all your personal growth pills at once. Jake looks abjectly relieved. If I can shoot straight from the hip, that's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. I think I've done enough already, too. No, Jake. Hey, this has been great talk. I feel like we're really firing on all cylinders, friendship-wise. If you were a past version of yourself, that would make you really happy. Instead, a sick feeling of guilt is poisoning your guts. You're about to touch on something real there, and you know it was wrong to pull back from it. You're not doing Jake any favors. Still, you give him a weak smile and offer him the best friend-making tool you know. Are there any faraway friends he's interested in connecting with? Boy, howdy, what a proposition! Why, I feel like one of those movie characters who's offered near unlimited powers out of nowhere, like Bruce Almighty, ready to lasso the moon and damn the consequences on those pesky tides. There is someone I've had a hankering to meet with for a little tete-a-tete. Remember when I regaled you with the tale of my grandma? Oof, you're not sure you're gonna be able to reunite this kid with his dead grandma. That seems like one of the things you won't be allowed to do despite the supposed limitlessness of your powers. You'd probably be blocked by that weird force, the one that seems to have a power that supersedes zapping anywhere in time, place, or dimension. You don't like to think about that force too hard. No, my stalwart chum. I've been corresponding in an epistolary fashion with a version of my grandma when she was a young girl, my pen pal buddy Jade. I understand if it's asking too much, but I'd love to meet her. She always said we'd meet someday in some roundabout confusing whoozy what's-it fashion, and I was pleased as a passel of possums to hear it. But recently she stopped replying, right in the final run-up to the vaunted finish line. I've been all a-twitter with worry, I don't mind telling you. Do you think we could take a hop, skip, and a jump over to her lodgings? What a relief! You actually know Jade. You can take him to Jade right now. Jake smiles, big, goofy grin at you. You should feel happy, you tell yourself sternly. This is a good thing to do. He said himself that you're fixing a concern of his. But the yawning malaise inside you only grows. You like to think of yourself as an agent of positive change, but here you are again, nothing but a glorified interdimensional taxi service. Whatever. Who cares? At least he'll be with someone he loves. You grab Jake's hand and take him to his family. You expect the normal non-event of your zappy powers, but instead there's a sick, wrenching feeling, a kind of squeezing, like you're not the right shape for wherever you're going. It steals your breath, and then it's gone. Nervously, you open your eyes. What the fuck? I recognize this background. Does this have to do with how your powers are changing? Sure, you were distracted and gloomy when you zapped, but you had no idea what just happened. You're not at Jade's house. Wherever you are, it feels deeply wrong. The wrongness jangles through your bones and teeth, like the vibrations of a jackhammer. You're not supposed to be here. You have to get out of here. You grab Jake with a grimace and zap more carefully. I would have liked the crossover, though. I don't think it'll happen, but like a hive swap, like Homestuck crossover would be super fun. Ah, there we go. You breathe a sigh of relief, which is sadly cut short as you turn and see Jade shoving the muzzle of a rifle in your face once again. You back up, hands raised. Jade, no, it's just you, her friend. You've already been through all these wacky misunderstanding shenanigans with firearms. Oh god, what fucking voice did I use for her?
I know who it is. I just think you shouldn't be here.
What?
Don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything you've done for me. You have no idea what it meant to be able to meet my friends in person. But the last time you came here, things got dangerous, and I started to wonder if you have any idea what the consequences are of what you're doing.
Okay, there's obviously something she needs to get off her chest. And you want to hear it. But can she put the gun down? You both know she's not actually going to shoot you.
Oh, right. I guess the gun was a little over the top, but you startled me and I got really mad. Ever since you left last time, I've been thinking about what you did with me and Dave. Even though Beck didn't stop you, I don't think he wanted me to be traveling around like that. I know you're a nice person and you don't mean to do anything bad, but I think it's impossible to have powers like yours without being a little corrupted by them. When you mess around in our lives, that can have serious consequences, but you always leave afterward and you don't have to live out those consequences with us. It was great to meet my friends, but you know what? I would have met them anyway in the game. I can't help thinking it would have been better for things to play out like they were supposed to. So, I'm sorry, but I just don't want you interfering in my life anymore. I think it's for the good of everyone if you leave us alone from now on.
It hurts to hear, but how could you argue with that? You tell Jade that you don't want to do anything that makes her uncomfortable. There's just, like, one little thing that you maybe already did? You gesture to Jake. He's huddled behind you, clearly having second thoughts about this. Maybe it's the gun, but then again, Jake is pretty comfortable around guns. Maybe it's just the fear of the mortifying ordeal of being known.
Who the fuck are you?
You watch as he clears his throat and fidgets, his hands twitching at his sides like he's thinking about hanging onto his own guns for comfort. I'm... your grandson?
Jake? That's me.
Jade bursts into tears. She flings herself forward and throws her arms around Jake. Aww, baby reunion!
Okay, I know you said I didn't want any interference, but this isn't fair. I can't believe you're here!
When they pull apart, Jake's eyes are watery as well. He's taller than Jade, being a few years older, but from the shy way he looks at her, you can tell he still sees her as an authority figure here. You can suddenly see how much Jake must have admired his grandmother. Fine. You're still in a mood, but this is heartwarming as hell. You intentionally tune out the conversation a little as Jade and Jake gush at each other. It just seems really private. They're family, after all. You don't have any place in this conversation, which only adds to your frustrated feeling of being hell-blocked. It's great that this is making Jade and Jake so happy, but it really has nothing to do with you, at all.
I guess I can't really give you the tour since you grew up in the same place as me. But maybe we can take advantage of this opportunity. We both grew up alone, right? Isn't there anything you always wanted to do, but you couldn't do it with only one person?
Holy hell, Jade, that's a rip snorter of an idea! You've got a splendiferous mind up in that noggin of yours.
Aww, it's weirding me out how much you sound like my grandpa. It's making me miss him too, but I'm really happy I get to spend time with you.
Me too! As to your question, there's one thing that comes forefront in the old think tank. You know how it is, being a kid alone in your room on a godforsaken island in the middle of bumfuck nowhere? You start to entertain all kinds of fancies.
Of course.
Well, there's this cosplay I've been trying to make work for years. I'm not very good at cosplay and I haven't had anyone to help me bring my vision to life. Is that the kind of activity you'd be suited for?
Oh, gee, I would love that! What's the character?
Only the best! Bravest archaeologist / adventurer of all time, Lara Croft!
Oh, wow. So, you want to be a sexy Tomb Raider? I think I'll have to stop picturing you as my grandpa. But I would love to help with that.
To be frank, Jade, I don't really think of Miss Croft as sexy. Oh, I know some unmannerly rogues like to comment on the size of her bazoombas, but from where I'm sitting, she is a consummate professional. I just admire her moxie.
Oh, oops, sorry. I was just making an assumption based on her outfit, I guess. That was really rude of me.
To tell you the truth, I have never seen anything sexy about shorts. I aspire to the freedom Lara's thighs get to experience every day. I think it's a beautiful dream. A man can wear short shorts without wanting everyone to get all rounded up about it, you know what I mean?
Of course he can.
But what about you, my juvenile grandma friend? This can't just be a cosplay party for yours truly alone. Isn't there anyone you've been wanting to inhabit the garments of?
Not really, but it would be fun to make a costume for me too. I could be Mr. Coxcomb. He's one of my favorite Mantho chaps.
Jade turns to you, her demeanor turns to you, her demeanor towards you considerably softened.
Hey. I'm sorry I was so mad earlier. Honestly, I was scared of what you were doing. It really shook me up to find myself on an alien planet. It felt like we shouldn't be doing it. But I shouldn't have taken it out on you. I know your powers aren't your fault. Do you want to join us? We can make a costume for you too. Oh yes, please do. Jade, this specimen right here has been nothing but a absolutely fantabulous friend to me all along.
Have you? Have you? All you did was tow him along on a little inner timeline jaunt. You don't feel like you've done Jake much good. Are you even really friends with Jake, or are you just piggybacking off his facilitating his friendship with Jade? It's fine, you guess. Things are going fine, even well, but it feels unsatisfying. No real nutritional value. You don't feel good about what you've done, but you guess you might as well get a cool costume out of it. You tell Jake and Jade you know exactly who you want to dress like. The three of you set to work together. That's cute.